Namaste and welcome to Mykonos, where we explore inspiring stories, ideas, and insights that shape our community. I'm your host, Kamodoma, and today's episode is a very special one. I have the incredible honor of welcoming a visionary leader and someone who plays a vital role in guiding our institution forward. Welcoming Professor Dr. Sriram Bhagut Mathe, Chairman of Xavier Academy and Kathmandu Don Bosco College. He is the founder of Asian Institute of Technology and Management Nepal and was the first principal of St. Xavier College. We'll be talking about the journey of Kathmandu Don Bosco College, his personal insights on leadership, education, and what the future holds for our students and community. So let's welcome him and get started. It's such an honor for me to have this opportunity to speak with you like this one-on-one. And I feel really grateful and blessed, and I'm kind of nervous too. But I hope this interview goes well.
It's a pleasure to be able to talk to all of you. I do consider this a privilege
Yes, sir.
and an opportunity to at least share some of my views.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. So let's move to our questions. So starting from your professional journey, um, could you share how your professional journey started and how eventually drew you to the education sector?
Okay, when I was finishing my school in St. Xavier's, I was very much impressed by the work of Frank Lloyd Wright, for example. I mean, his architecture masterpieces like Falling Waters, the Kaufman House, the fact that his buildings were very close to the earth. He didn't go for verticality, he went for horizontality in the sense. And at that time, it was okay because there was a lot of land.
Yes.
So I was impressed with Frank Lloyd Wright. So I was thinking that maybe I should be an architect after I finish my schooling and take up architecture. Then when I studied in Amrit Science College, after finishing my 11th, 12th, that we used to call it intermediate science, that ISC in Amrit Science College, and the results came out, I was ranked 5th overall in the whole of Nepal. So I had a choice of choosing under the Colombo Plan scholarship.
Yes,
I had a choice of choosing a number of subject areas. So that time, I don't know what happened. I forgot about architecture and I thought I should be a mechanical engineer. So I had filled up the form to be a mechanical engineer. But the day before I was submitting my form, one of my senior brothers, dropped into the house. He hadn't been into the house for, I don't know, ages. But that day, and that is why I said everything in life tends to be very fortuitous. So he dropped by and then he asked me what I was going to apply for, and I said I'm going to apply for mechanical engineering. He said, "Why mechanical engineering? Why don't you apply for architecture? There's practically no architect as such. There are only very few architects in Nepal, and there is a building industry, and so the country really needs architects." So I thought about it, and then I remember when I was studying in school, the books I read about Frank Lloyd Wright and all of that, and I said, well, yes, why not? So I applied for architecture, and of course I got it. And that's how I became an architect. And then after that, I started practicing. But then inside of me, there was this academic interest, and I thought that I should be a teacher.
Yes,
So after practicing for a while in a private firm, I applied to be a teacher in Institute of Engineering, Pulcher campus. At that time, we didn't have any private universities or private engineering colleges. So the Institute of Engineering was the only institute that was offering engineering education in 4 campuses. Pulchok was the main campus, and then Thapthali and Pokhara and Dharan.
Yes, sir.
So we just call it the Western Campus and Eastern Campus, Thapthali and Pulcher campus as being central campuses. So I started teaching, but then at the same time, I was still practicing as well, because in architecture you need to practice. So I continued my private architecture practice as well as teaching. At that time, teaching was a full-time job, not like today. I remember taking 6-7 periods design subjects, working drawings, etc. 6, 7 periods a day. It was a full time. So that we used to go at about 10 o'clock and we used to come out at 5 o'clock. It was a full time job. And then one thing led to another. Then I said, well, why not, go for master's and PhD program. I went and did that. And in the Institute of Engineering, I just rose up from being a teacher to the head of department. Then later on became the campus chief. After I finished my PhD, I came back to Nepal. Then I was the campus chief. We used to call it campus chief because we used to call all the campuses. And then I was called to start St. Xavier's College. So I was the first campus chief of St. Xavier's College. Now we call them principal, of course, but I was the first campus chief, and I worked there for 3 years. And again got called back to be the dean of the Institute of Engineering. And then after that, I said, what should I do, Then I applied to work abroad and became international consultant. But at the same time, we started Xavier Academy in 1997. So my professional and my management jobs were going hand in hand, managing Xavier Academy and then doing my international consulting. Then in 2015, we got an offer of buying shares into Kathmandu Bosco College. So in 2015, we bought that and we moved Kathmandu Bosco College from its original location to the present location. So, as I said, I've been very active in managing colleges, international consulting jobs, and at the same time advising on architectural projects. So it's a pretty full-time work I'm doing, and I still believe that hard work pays, and I'm still working as hard as I can, even at this age.
Yes, sir. So that was very inspiring. And as the chairman, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of your role?
I think, let's put it this way, I would like to put it in a national context. I think education sector is a sector that is really very challenging because the policies, the national policies are not very enabling policies. Yes. I think in Nepal, the policies are formulated not to encourage, but the policies are rules and regulations formulated to control. Yes. So I think there's a control mentality in our politicians and in our bureaucrats. And the reason being is that when you have a control mechanism, then people try to find loopholes. And then that's the start of the corruption. Yes. Because you've got a very controlling environment where everything is trying to be controlled. People want to get out of this mechanism. They look for loopholes. And then when you want to go through the loopholes, there's definitely corruption at that level. So I think in the national context, I think this is something that is hindering Nepal's progress. And we're not only talking of the education sector, we're talking of all sectors. There's a control mentality amongst the politicians and the bureaucrats, which is really hindering. But otherwise, we got such fine people in Nepal. Our people, Nepalese people are going all over the world and making names for themselves in every sector, every sector in other world. And Nepal, we are not able to do that, and that's why you see a exodus of students. So I think the challenge, the national context challenge is that I think we need to have a enabling environment, encouraging environment, and based on two things: quality education, yes, and total personality development. When I say total personality development, I'm talking of holistic education. Yes, so because in today's day and age, I think the holistic education, the total personality development aspect is very important. So I believe that the most important challenge that we're facing as educators is that we don't have the education policies that encourage us to grow to the maximum level. We are constrained by all these rules and regulations, but being in the education field, we are trying to do the best we can. Yes. But if we are just given that bit of freedom to start new courses or even start a private university, which we have been trying. We've been trying to establish Sriram Bhagut Mathe University from 2014-15 onwards, but we haven't realized the dream. In the meantime, there are new universities that have come up. Whether you call it public universities or semi-public universities, more universities have come up. But our Sriram Bhagut Mathe University and even COPA has applied to be universities. There are entities that are trying. So if we can be given that freedom to grow and to start our own university, I think we could do a fantastic job.
So thank you so much for your inspiring words. Now, moving on to the vision of Kathmandu Don Bosco College. What was the inspiration behind founding Kathmandu Don Bosco College, and what core vision guided its beginning?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we bought shares of Kathmandu Don Bosco only in 2015.
Yes, sir.
But Kathmandu Don Bosco has been operating from about 1997-98. So it had already been operating for almost, in a way, almost 17, 18 years, right? So when we bought shares in Kathmandu Don Bosco College, there were two objectives. One, Xavier Academy, which is the in a way the main entity that is occupying the present premises. So Xavier Academy has been operating from 1997. It has been consistently ranked as one of the top 10 two institutions in Nepal.
Yes.
Xavier Academy had also offered for a short while bachelor in environment, you know. But then we discontinued that course for the simple reason that there was a bit of politics among groups of teachers. That time we didn't have many teachers who were teaching environmental science.
Yes.
And then we later found out that there are two factions of teachers. And so one faction of teachers was teaching that, the other faction were finding ways to try to fail our students. So I thought I don't want to get into this internal
Yes.
politics, and it's not a good. And our students were suffering. And we had very good students, very good students who were studying in the environment science course. So we can discontinue that. So we basically, confine ourselves to the +2 programs. So, but the +2 program enough was not enough. We really need some way to continue onwards.
Yes.
So we thought that Kathmandu Don Bosco College would be a good investment because it had already, MBA, EMBA. We started with MBA, EMBA courses, and we brought that. So MBA, EMBA courses also were offered from here. And then we decided that we should start the BBA courses. We started BBA courses. Now we have applied for BIT course, and then I think we have got word that yes, we have been given permission to start BIT course. So Kathmandu Don Bosco College, what we thought when we bought shares, and when we bought shares in Kathmandu Don Bosco, it was not only Xavier Academy but Little Angels also, because we are Little Angels College and we are working together under the Nepal Education Foundation umbrella.
Yes.
So we bought shares in the Kathmandu Don Bosco College, brought it here, and that was a logical extension of our +2 program. So people who wanted to continue studying management would continue onwards to BBA, MBA, EMBA.
Yes.
And then naturally they also have now an opportunity once we start the course going to BIT. But on the same principle, again, academic excellence and total personality development. We try to give in Kathmandu Don Bosco College quality education. But then we, at the same time, we also feel that they need to be industry ready. But once they finish the course, they must be industry ready. Means they should be ready, easy to get employment as well. So I mean, these are aspects that we have considered in continuing with Kathmandu Don Bosco College.
We would like to know if there are any exciting new goals or projects or partnerships that the college is planning for the near future.
Under Xavier Academy and Kathmandu Don Bosco umbrella, we have signed memorandum of agreement, memorandum of understanding with a number of institutions,
Yes,
including in the United States, even in South Korea, India, etc. But again, these are MOUs, but until we have freedom to operate in the way we want, we are not able to concretize and implement those memorandum understanding agreement. So we have been signing with different industries, different institutions and all of that. But when it comes to foreign institutions, there is a systemic problem. The systemic problem again is the controlling mechanism mentality that is pervading in the political sector and the bureaucratic sector. If you are given that freedom to be able to offer even joint programs, dual degree programs, we'd be happy to do that, but we are constrained by that. So we are continuing to drive partnership with industries, private enterprises, like-minded parties and other institutions, but we do have assisting problems in trying to implement those agreements.
Now, moving on to the next segment. What message would you like to share with students who are currently facing academic or personal challenges?
I just would like to say that every facet of life, every phase of life is very challenging.
Yes, sir.
Life is full of ups and downs, whether it is at the personal level, at the professional level. That is life, you know.
Yes.
Life has got problems. So I would like to, advise my students that please do not get overwhelmed and stressed by problems.
Yes.
Problems are there; they will be there. And even if you solve one problem, there will be other problems on the way.
Yes.
Do not get overstressed and overwhelmed by the problems. I think you need to have a very positive attitude. Grapple with this problem, cope with this problems, try to solve those problems. If you cannot do it, get the help of other people who can help you to get the problem. But do not let problems be an obstacle.
Yes.
And every problem, in a way, has got some sort of opportunity. Okay, so therefore, problems make people stronger.
Yes, sir.
They make people stronger, more resilient. So I would like to advise my students that you do not get overwhelmed by the problems, focus on excellence. And this is something I have been saying to all the students every time during orientation program, during welcome program, farewell program. I've said focus on academic excellence. Because, and not only academic excellence, in fact, as I've said, what Aristotle has said, make excellence a habit in anything you do, anything you do. So I think that's something that the students have to do. Make excellence a habit in everything. Make it a habit so that you don't even think about it.
Yes, sir.
Excellence will just come out of your system unconsciously. So make it a habit. But at the same time, the world is changing very fast. I think the students should have this, what you call 21st century skills, which is basically communication and cooperation.
Yes, sir.
Why you need communication and cooperation skills? To deal with people.
Yes, sir.
Because you deal with people. And then you need creativity and critical thinking skills to deal with problems. So no matter where you go, you have to deal with people and you have to deal with problems.
Yes.
And that is why the 21st century skills are important. Communication, collaboration to deal with people, and creativity and critical thinking to deal with problems.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. So looking back, what's one piece of advice would you wish you had received when you were in college?
When I was in college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. As I said, I had a very good education, because we're studying in St. Xavier, which was very much English medium school, westernized, giving my, I didn't appear for the school leaving certificate exams or SC exams as they are called now. I appeared for the O levels, University of Cambridge exams. So, and I had access to books. I loved books. I used to read books. I remember even reading books of 1,000, 1,200 pages, reading day and night until I finished. I used to read almost 3-4 days in a row to finish a book. Of course, I did it always in the weekend area. Starting around Thursday, I knew that my habit was to try to finish that book and not sleep until I finished the book. So I wish when I was young, I had all these tools that you young people have got now. You got a computer. We didn't have computers. The only way we could get knowledge about the world was through World Book and encyclopedia. We had no computers, we had no these smartphones, nothing. So any knowledge that we wanted, we had to go to the library and pick up the encyclopedia. And I wish when we were young, we had the smart tools that you all have. Because I think learning would have been much more easier for us.
Yes, sir.
But then I was always focused on my studies to do well, and I think that's what I would have liked. We had excellent teachers, and I think that was a bonus for us. Excellent teachers.
Yes. If you were not involved in the field of education, what alternative career path might you have chosen?
Well, as I told you, my life sort of started working in a firm, act as a firm, and then I took up teaching, and then I was practicing and teaching, at the same time. Now, right now I can't think of an alternative to teaching because teaching is ingrained in my blood, it seems.
Yes.
But if I didn't take up teaching, I would have been a full-time architect, and
Yes.
a practitioner, as an architect.
Yes, sir. So, is there a book or movie or quote that deeply inspires you and keeps you grounded?
Well, as I said, the books that really inspired me are Ayn Rand's books.
Yes, sir.
Those books were really inspired. And as I said, one of the authors that really used to inspire me, and his books were very voluminous,
Yes,
Charles
sir.
Dickens. His books were really very, very touching. They were touching at the very social issues. So I haven't had much time to do much reading these days. But there was a time when I used to say that I need to buy one book every month and finish that book.
Yes.
But getting into the senior management portion, that leaves me very much behind. And so my reading is more on articles, and more than books is more articles, short pieces, essays, etc., etc.
Yes.
But I would say that the two authors that have really impressed me are Charles Dickens and Ayn Rand. Then I would also like to add Leo Tolstoy.
Yes, sir.
His books War and Peace and all of it. Really, really great stuff.
Yes, sir. If you could have dinner with any historical figure or public personality, who would it be and why?
Let me just put it this way. If coming to Nepal, I probably would have loved to be very close with Lakshmi Prasad Devkota,
Yes, sir.
because his writings are very, very soulful, touches the heart. So that is somebody I would have loved to have had more interaction with.
Yes, sir.
On the world stage, I don't know, maybe it was because of the books that I read and all of that. I was impressed by Abraham Lincoln. During the time when you had South and North, and he was a unifying figure. Some of his speeches when they had the Civil War, American Civil War, when his Gettysburg Address and all that, you read that stuff, is very, very touching. I mean, he was really iconic figure.
Yes.
And you hear stories about the fact that he was told not to lie, and then he cut a apple tree and all of that, and
Yes.
his mom. So you have all these figures. When you think about Abraham Lincoln, you think about honesty, you think about statesmanship, you think about a leader who was there leading a country, a divided country, and brought the two, South and North, together.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he was assassinated. So that would be my answer. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So we're at the end of the video. We would like to thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. Your journey, your vision, and your words of wisdom have left a lasting impression, not just on us here at the college, but also for all the viewers. We hope today's conversation inspires many to dream bigger, live with purpose, and never stop learning. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It was a pleasure.
No, sir, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. Okay.